Egal.
Yeah, I just thought simply he got the selection wrong to start the game, and I do agree with some of your takes on the fact that we should have gone a little bit more attacking to start off the game. Let's think about it. I- if we look at the actual tactics itself, those are the same tactics that help us beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa 2-0 away, Spurs 1-0 away. We seen Man City face a defeat to us at the Emirates 1-0, similar situation. Cagey games where we're solid defensively, and once we get our chance, we pounce. Really and truly, I think Arne Slot broke down the game the best out of everybody that I heard from after the game. He basically said, "We play that game 10 times. You probably have one winner. You probably have Liverpool win once, Arsenal win once, and the other 8 times is probably a draw. That game had draw written all over it, and I think that was mostly because both teams were cautious. We speak about Arsenal being very cautious, but the fact of the matter is, Liverpool were more cautious than us in the first 30 minutes. They didn't even come into our half of the pitch. So I don't really want to hear the negativity from one side where yes, Liverpool won the game, but they really only won the game because of that one free kick. And
Can
that
I
free
say
kick
one thing
was
ago, Nick? I'll just cut you for 1 second here. The
go
only
ahead.
the only thing about that though is when you have players on the pitch that can make that difference, that's probably what the point is. We didn't have our players on the pitch that can make that one superstar free kick difference. I know we've got a Declan Rice, but I'm saying if you have an Eze on the pitch, for example, then when the games are tight, you can make the difference. They did have all of their players that can make the difference on the pitch. So even if they play defensive, they've still got the players on the pitch that can make the difference. That's probably what the difference
Szoboszlai
is.
not a player before the game you would have said has that superstar ability to make the difference, is he?
No, but Salah and Gakpo. No, but what I'm saying is we've on our left hand side we've gone Martinelli, who we all, even with Arteta in, Arteta out, we all believe is finished. He's playing for 70 minutes of that game because we want him to control Salah defensively, and then we've got Marino in the 10. So that's 2 attacking positions that 2 of them are very rarely going to be able to do anything unless you get a one-off moment. Do you know what I'm saying? They've got in their positions, they've got their Verts, Ekatike, Salah, and they've got a midfielder at right back. So they've got a peripheral of areas that they can win the game from. We don't really have that. That's the point.
I disagree that there's nowhere we could have won the game from. I think that we definitely had quality in the team. I agree that there wasn't enough. I texted Dan before the game saying no creativity in this midfield in terms of creating chance. There was definitely
who would have made the difference in our team.
There's quality. Gyökeres can pop a shot from the edge of the box.
No, yeah, I know, but what I'm saying, Madueke doesn't score goals, Marino doesn't score goals, and Martinelli doesn't score goals.
Look, I don't want to start bigging up Mikel Marino for his goal scoring, but we saw him score goals at the end of the last season. I agree with you.
He's playing in the 10 though, isn't he? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's playing as an attacking player. Look, I'm not backing this, but I'm not hearing on the other side that they had the match winners in the team. It came down to one moment of quality. In the first half, I think we were the better team. We played in their half majority of the game. They never touch in our box.
No. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that we were never going to score. That's the point I'm making.
They weren't either. That's the reality.
I agree with that. They weren't going to score. They weren't going to score from open play. Okay. But if somebody was going to score, it would have been them. That's the point.
You know something? The best chance actually fell to Eze, and Arteta said that after the game. But everyone's ignoring the fact and saying he's calling out Eze, when in actual reality he's just simply saying
he kind of did.
That was our best chance to actually score, and unfortunately the player couldn't get the shot on target. That was just simply a fact of the matter. Hey, Liverpool open play, we created more than them. That's the based on the actual match,
and we lost.
If you look at the actual stats, we took more shots. The eye test would tell you Liverpool were on the ascendancy from after the 60th minute, and we could all see that. But Arteta should have made a change.
Let me quickly ask you this though, because this still get confused.
Let me just get 2 points in before everyone cuts me off again.
Okay, I just want a quick question because I'm confused about what you're saying. But go on.
My main thing is from the 61st minute onwards. I think that's where we should have been more brave also. Because yes, we all agree the starting lineup was not good enough. We all agree that we were quite reserved going into the game. And I would have started either Eze or Max down, or not Max, Ethan, Eze, or Odegaard, if possible. And personally, Martinelli, I agree with you guys. He shouldn't have started in the left wing. If you remember the moment where him and Gyökeres were like a 2-on-3, and he didn't even pass the ball. He had Gyökeres just sitting there waiting as he kicked the ball out of bounds. That was another moment.
We know that that's going to happen, and we can criticize Arteta and still be Arteta in, and you can praise him and still be Arteta out. So it's not a situation that you have to. I know, but what I'm saying is, in this game, the reason why we lost this game, we didn't seem like we were going to win the game, and I feel like it comes to fine margins. Like, I'm not so vexed about this game because I feel like we played well, and I feel like I think this is the 2 best teams in the league, and I feel like sometimes it's football. You can't win every game, and it is going to go to a moment of
you know what really pisses me off?
Let me finish.
The narrative that only one team was trying to win. And
no. Let me finish. What I'm saying is
not remotely true. But D, you're interrupting me as I'm speaking, and you're telling me let me finish.
You go. Go on. No, you go. Go on.
You know what I mean? I understand everyone's gonna have their own opinion on the manager. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on the approach going into the game. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on how the game came out. But if we all put everything aside and we just look at it as totality and say, you know what, both teams, even with Arsenal's injury, nullified each other offensively, and both teams were relatively cautious to begin the game. And Liverpool, when they went on the ascendancy, we didn't make enough changes to get ourselves going. And if you want to say, oh, Arteta does this, well, Arteta has 22-game example of saying, you know what, this is a tactic that works. And I think it is a situation where we can say the tactics has worked for the last 22 games, but unfortunately, the game plan going into this game wasn't the issue. The personnel on the pitch was the issue, in my opinion. And I think the team selection was worse, and the substitutions were worse than the actual tactics going into the game. I think the tactics were correct. And everyone who's saying we played 3 DMs, we played all these 4 center backs, you just have an agenda. Because Declan Rice has not been playing as a DM.
Not true, Egal. That's just not true.
No, it is true though. Declan Rice has not been a DM. Declan Rice has not been a DM for Arsenal for over a year now, and Mikel Moreno has been used more as a striker than a DM. So when we run into agendas and narratives, I hate these agendas and narratives. Number one, we actually were one of the we came into that game and Liverpool respected us more than we did in the first 30 minutes. I already said that. The whole stuff about Max Dowman. Honestly, I don't think he was ever going to throw Max Dowman to start this game. Madueke played well. Also, I want to hear you guys were talking shit about Marquinhos, the Marquinhos signing before the window ended. I think Marquinhos showed after that one game that he's a quality player. Calafiori, who was getting a lot of criticism.
Mascara, you mean?
Mascara. My bad. You know, I mix up names all the time. I'm like an old father now. It's getting bad. As for what do you call it, Calafiori, he shut down Salah. We hear so much about Gyökeres being ineffective. We made their attack ineffective. This was a tactical battle between 2 managers, and the team, just one team found a solution from a magical free kick. And let's not make it into something that it's not. It was just one magical moment. And I don't think we should be going into meltdowns or going crazy. This is the toughest game we're going to play.
You went crazy at Hussam.
This is the best team.
F up.
He pissed me off.
People to be calm.
Northside, he pissed me off because he was sitting there telling everybody that they actually were the better team and they were going to go on to score. There was no evidence to say they were going to go on to score.
Yeah, but why didn't we set up to score? It's all good nullifying them, yeah. But
they set up defensively also.
We lost the league last season, yeah. Too many draws. So what? We're playing for another draw. So we're repeating the same from last season. It's all good nullifying them, and I hear you on that point, yeah. But the game is there to go out to win, and we didn't show the ambition to win. And when we were attacking, like Christian said, we were attacking at times. Look at the players that were at the end of those opportunities: Martinelli, Madueke. These are not the players that we need that got the quality to put the ball in the back of the net. They shouldn't be selected in the first place. Okay. So then it goes down to the manager's lineup.
They shouldn't be.
The tactics, but I don't disagree with you there. That's the thing.
You're trying to skate around it and say, yeah, but look at the positive. What positives? We're supposed to be winning the league. You said yourself this season he has to win a major honor. You said
there's multiple positives, as I've already said. Calafiori, Mascara, the fact that we nullified the friggin' champions to literally.
So 2 defensive players are the positives, yeah. When we're supposed to be picking up the points and not dropping the points last season, too many draws and then not win the league.
We also listen. Not too many teams go over to Anfield and outplay them and do have a ridiculously good
game.
And
not too many teams will be trusted in the youth project.
The tactic,
still not winning.
The tactical approach to play Anfield. The tactical approach to play at Anfield is to keep the game close. Because if you get into a back and forth to see who scores more, it's always gonna be Liverpool.
From this game, if we face PSG again, in the Champions League, Egal, if we face PSG again tactically, what have you learned in this game that if we get to quarterfinals, semi-finals, we face PSG again, what do you think this manager's learned? How do you think he's going to win that game? Because we can't involve our striker. We don't play our best number 10. We don't play our best youngsters. We play 3 DMs in the midfield. Yeah. You're telling me that out of this game, our 2 defensive players were the best ones out of the whole game. Yeah, including Madueke that none of us wanted and you didn't want, because I remember seeing the video of you saying you didn't want him. I didn't want him. What have you learned tactically? If we go up against PSG or we go up against another team like when we bottled it against Bayern Munich, what tactically are we gonna do? What have you seen so far?
What I learned today is we're still one of the best defenses, which we already knew. And on top of that, what I learned is hopefully the manager has finally given up on Martinelli on that left wing. Because that performance was so poor.
Yeah, but he paid for 70 minutes though. That's the point, isn't it? He hasn't given up on him. That's the point.
No, but that performance was so poor that I think he would throw in the towel and say Martinelli as a starting left winger in these games is no longer effective. Because
it's been like that. It's been like that for a couple years though.
No, but the thing is, let's not.
You're hoping that performance is now allowed him.
Arteta did not have a lot of choices.
Let me ask my question very quickly, and then I want to bring Lee and Christian, the guys, in. Let me ask this very, very quickly, Egal, because I do not know your answer to this, and I still don't understand. I didn't earlier, and I still don't tonight. We played 7 defensive players in that game, whether you like it or not. Rice, Marino, and Zubimendi. Rice, Zubimendi, and Marino were all as a trio in midfield with 0 creativity, and we had a back 4, all of which can play at centre back or full back. Why did we lose the game?
We lost the game because of a moment of magic. Simple. It wasn't
okay. A moment of magic. Okay,
let's remember. We all of us here were speaking after we beat Man United, saying we weren't good. Liverpool were underwhelming. Also, let's not act like they were amazing. It was a tight game. It was a tight game, and sometimes these games only come down to one moment. The winners write the history books, right? So everyone's gonna look back and say Liverpool won the game, and everything was nice. The reality was. This was a close game. This was a close game, and it took one moment of magic. I'm not going to sit here and all of a sudden say everything we're doing is terrible. How many
goals did we have playing like that?
No, you know what? Let me ask.
We had more shots than them.
No.
And guess what? Outside of the free kick, they had one more shot on target.
I think the question is, would you have rather them played Eze in the 10 than Marino? I think that's the better
100%. But that's the first thing I said.
That's the first thing we both said. You know what I will say as well?
Yeah, that's probably
I feel like you guys choose to ignore everything we say that's similar to you, and you just go to the points that are negative. Or
let me say one thing on the team selection as well, right? I don't think Arteta picks that team if Odegaard doesn't get injured last week and Saka doesn't get injured last week. This is where the narrative about him just only setting up defensively, I think, is a little bit wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think he did go defensive against Liverpool when he shouldn't have. There needed to be more creativity in midfield. But if Odegaard doesn't get injured last week, he starts in that game. And if Saka doesn't get injured, if Saka doesn't get injured, he starts on the right and Madueke would have started on the left.
Yeah,
right? So Martinelli was forced into this team, right? Because against Leeds, we saw Martinelli was dropped, right? Madueke started on the left, Saka on the right. I think that would have stayed the same. And I think Odegaard would have played in midfield. Because Saka and Odegaard got injured, it kind of forced his hand. Where I think he went wrong is not playing Nwaneri. I would have started Ethan in the 10. He offers so much more going forward, creativity. Like, we would have created more chances with Ethan in the team. I understand he's young.
The brand of football is so poor, though. That's the thing, though. It's not even just about lineup. The brand of football is poor. The tactical decisions in game is still poor. It doesn't matter about the lineup because he was playing those players in pre-season. We're still looking dead. So to say yes, he would have selected those players. But what is the tactics? What are the changes? How are we getting? We weren't even getting the most out of Saka before he got injured. Let's just keep it 100. Saka since we bought Gyökeres and all these players, we're not getting Gyökeres in the game. We're not getting Saka in the game, and our left-hand side is completely dead. So what is the difference whether we selected those players or not? Because the brand of football's still been shit.
But then you said it was fine margins, no? It was fine margins how we lost
I never once said nothing about fine margins.
So was it more than fine margins that lost us that game? Or was it fine margins?
What lost us that game, yeah, was the lineup, the tactics, the substitutions, and the cowardice of this manager to not go out there and actually try to win this game. He was trying to get a draw out the game. and with that he gambled, and then they took their opportunity and they scored. It was it's multiple errors from this manager. Once again, it is multiple errors. Egal, it is multiple errors. It's
we weren't trying to get a draw from the game.
Well, how is he trying to win it? Because after the 60th minute, yeah, why aren't we trying to win the game and get that 1-0 and stink it out or try and get the header or whatever? We're not doing anything.
Both teams were ineffective in the final third. Why are we acting like Liverpool were more effective in the final third?
Corners.
Yes.
We rely on corners. If when the corners don't pay off, that's the problem.
Liverpool relied on Mo Salah and Inshallah.
We were trying to get corners. Madueke wasn't trying to cross it in. He was trying to get corners.
Bro, Madueke was not trying to win corners.
And when our corners are shit, then we don't win the game. Oh, okay. Horrible, bro.
This is where I can't have a conversation anymore because we're now running with agendas. We weren't trying to play for corners.
I've got no idea, bro. We
weren't trying to play for corners. Madueke was trying to beat his man, and his man was better than him defensively in the time.
Bro, I've supported Arteta, but you got, bro, just wake up. Bro.
I'm not supporting Arteta. I'm giving you my analysis of the game.
Wake up, bro. Let's just forget your agenda.
Wake up, bro.
Bro, please, man. Just honestly, let's just have Christians on it now. Let's wake up, bro. This guy is not going to get us over the line, man. He isn't.
That's two completely different conversations.
What do you mean I'm on it?
As much as it hurts.
That's two completely different conversations. 1 second.
What am I on, bro? Tell me what I'm on.
No, hang on. You guys love to crash out over nonsense.
On it now.
Right? This is nonsense. This is nonsense. To sit here and to say because we lost to Liverpool and Anfield, which is a place where we always friggin' lose or draw anyways, is the reason why we're not going to win.
We had the opportunity this year, bro.
Of course we have an opportunity. Guess why? Who didn't? The manager had us set up in a way where we could have got something from the game. What went wrong?
Do you want to win the league? Do you want to win the league?
Oh my God.
If you want it, because you said you didn't care before. I do, yeah? So if you want to win the league, you got to win at Anfield, bro.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No,
the last
season we should have beaten Man City.
No.
The season before playing defensive when we had.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
You know how many times Pep Guardiola's won at Anfield since he's been in the Premier League?
How about that?
I'm sorry. They were going through a transition. I'm sorry. They were there for the
competitions. You're chatting shit. And you know why you're chatting shit? It's because if you go out and win away at your title rival, it doesn't happen that often. City,
get him, Lee. Lee, get him.
In the whole time Pep has been here, has won one time away at Anfield. I'm pretty sure in all Premier League competitions. In all competitions, Klopp, the whole time he's been here, has only beaten City twice at their ground. And you're sitting here talking about
City is shit last year. This is nonsense.
We did not win the league. We do not win or lose the league away at Anfield. The situation is you guys can lose belief. You guys can 1 second. You guys can lose belief on whatever you want. You can be dissatisfied with whatever you want. But when we're sitting here, let's not lie. Over the last 25 years, the team that went away to their title rival and won, it's only been 2 times it's happened in the last 25 years where a team has gone away to a champion away and won. And we're sitting here saying, oh, Arsenal didn't play well enough. I hear that. We're sitting here saying Arteta didn't play brave enough. I hear that.
Have you seen Konate and Kirkes at the start of the
nonsense? I'm not going to have it.
What about Kirkes and Konate? Weren't they there for the taking? Watch the last 3 games. They've been shit. We didn't attack them, bro. We didn't get Yorkcrest in the game. So they were there for the taking. Their confidence isn't the highest. They lost.
You know something?
They lost
just because they were vulnerable and we didn't capitalize doesn't mean that everything in this game was an example of why we're not good. No, I think the game we come out of this game, and there's not as many. We come out of this game, and I don't think you can't come to too many grand conclusions of the whole entire season off the back of this one performance.